And it seems like the way you do this is you turn this into a heist movie, right? Throughout the movie, there were like individual scenes and moments where I thought, is this a heist movie? Like where
it was definitely giving Money Heist.
Yeah, Money Heist 5, yeah.
Yeah, right. Like where he was kind of moving things into position and he was acquiring skills and he was recruiting people. And that's the planning phase of a heist movie, right? And would this have been a better movie if it had followed the template of that and was more focused on that?
I think so, yeah. Possibly.
The entire focus is on engineering the revenge. That's functionally a heist, right? I don't mean a literal heist. I mean like in terms of structure, right? Like in a heist movie, you have something you want to acquire, right? And so you hire experts who have the skills, and then you make plans and you move things into position, and maybe you infiltrate a place, right? And then you execute a plan, and then the plan doesn't work, and then you have to improvise. And then in the end, the thieves get away, either in part or in full, with what they wanted. And so here, Edmond wants revenge, right? He doesn't want to steal something, but he wants to execute revenge. And so he installs AD and Andrea, right? He kind of, they infiltrate, right, the high society, and he moves like things into position, like he bribes the telegraph service to fabricate the bad rumors in order to drive down the stock price of the shipping company and stuff like that, right? A lot of these pieces smell like a heist movie.
Yes, right? I get what you're saying now, but I think that would have been a way longer movie. So for example, like let's say it was a thing where he was trying to win the love of, his ex-wife. There would have been different encounters where obviously he would have failed, improvised again, succeeded, but then failed again, and then had to go retract his steps. Like for example, like in Money Heist, so many times where the professor failed and he just had to improvise on the spot. But it took us into episode 2 in order for him to improvise on the spot and change his plan. So I think it would have worked well with the series, even though I get it, there has been more adaptations, the series adaptations and stuff like that. But if it was to follow the whole kind of like Money Heist rule, in terms, I think I agree they should have done that, but at the same time, I think it would have been hard to do in 3 hours.
It just seems like if you want to tell a slimmed down version of the story, it just focuses on pulling off the revenge. That's our way to do it.
I agree, and they definitely could have worked as a type of movie. I'm just trying to feel, would I have because I actually quite liked the reveal of how the conclusion kind of like played out, and sort of not really knowing what was about to happen and what the kind of idea behind it was. And I know sometimes in heist movies, you think that you know what the plan is, but then they kind of have this other whole side plot, or this sort of other way of sort of executing what they were going to do. But ultimately, you kind of know partially what part of the plan is. And I feel like that moment in the courtroom of sort of when they're waiting for the representative of sort of Lord Halifax, and you don't kind of know, and there's that little bit of confusion, and then it's revealed. I really like that, and in this movie, I really like that moment. So it's just trying to picture what something like that would have looked like in a heist movie.
Well, him executing the plan in the courtroom is the heist, right?
It's a heist, yeah. I'm just in terms of the knowing what the idea was, or knowing what sort of the motivation was to maybe pull him of his sort of of his reputation, or defund this guy with all his money, is knowing what the plan was beforehand, essentially. So I do agree with you. I feel like a lot of the pieces would have worked well as a heist movie, and if they chose to remake this for the 100th time and did it as a heist movie, it probably would be a great movie. I just trying to think of my personal preference as to how it unfolded, and I think I do quite like the element of surprise that this had on me, and sort of not being able to anticipate the moves or anticipate sort of what was going to happen next. I think I personally preferred it in this format, although I do think the heist movie would be an equally just a good way to sort of tell the story.